Hi, and welcome to the Empower the Mindful Athlete program. Whether you are a veteran athlete or perhaps retired, whether you are a weekend warrior, or just here to simply learn and see a few more techniques in enhancing our mindfulness with our inner athlete. And today, our theme is all about balance. So with this program, the Mindful Athlete and others that I teach and share, as well as not only about the physical aspect. So in this theme of balance, we're not only talking about the physical body, but rather deeper and deeper into various layers for our entire whole being connection. And with our mind and body connection and enhancing, empowering our awareness, our mindfulness of the present, we are able to tune into a strength, a power, and a grace on the field, on a court, wherever it is, maybe in the pool, in the ocean, wherever you may be in your specific doing, performance, sport, or action. So that being said, today in week 2, we will be discussing all about balance and focusing in on the connection, the mindfulness, awareness of this. So that being said, I'm gonna head on back and let us begin. Thank you for joining. So as last week, we talked about the different tools to utilize throughout our 8-week program. Today in our balance session, we will be utilizing a lacrosse ball. Again, we gave options last week to utilize a softball, a baseball, maybe even a rolled up bunch pieces of recycled paper, wrapping them in electric tape or duct tape. So we'll be utilizing that. As well as if you are in an open room, grab something that you can balance on to, hold on to, or will get near a wall or a railing for that time. So it's the only thing that we need, the only tools that we need for today. And as always, welcome, and I invite you to have your journal nearby to write down the tools, the exercises that we've done, always reflecting inside and out. So with that being said, let us get into a comfortable seat to begin. Perhaps we prop ourselves up onto a cushion, a block, a pillow, a rolled up mat or towel. And beginning to find this comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you're in a chair or seated on the knees. But beginning to ground into this moment, allowing and inviting your sit bones to settle on the surface beneath you. And then I invite you to close your eyes, to turn your gaze inward. Beginning this self-exploration, this deepening into balance. And as we allow our sit bones to settle, invite the thighs to soften, the hip flexors, the groin to naturally release as your knees begin to fall towards the earth, relaxing down away from the hips. All the way down through the lower legs to the ankles and the feet. And then again, deepening this connection mind, body. Let us begin to tune in with our breath and imagine as if our inhales are coming all the way from the toes. Inhaling up through the lower legs, upper legs, into the hips. And on the exhales, inviting that exhalation to soften down, lowering through the hips, knees, lower legs, down to the toes. Inhaling, feeling this energy flow up through the feet to the hips, and then exhaling it back down as you soften the lower body, connecting this breath, energy, and release. On your inhalation and exhale, flow through that one more time. Returning back to your hips, this center core. Beginning to explore the core of your being, the middle section of your body. Stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Lengthening through the spine. Shoulders relaxing away from your ears. And as if your chin lowers just a little bit to lengthen the back of your neck and rise up through the top of your head. With our awareness on the center of our being, returning to breath connection. Begin this inhale circulating through the sit bones, through the lower hips. Inhale as you rise up through the navel, the center of your core, all the way to the top of your head. And on your exhalation, feel this energy, this connection flowing down through the center of your being back into your hips. Inhaling, feeling the length and expansion. Exhale, softening, maybe the jaws separate from each other. Maybe the tongue melts away from the roof of your mouth so your mouth and your throat can open. Option to keep the lips sealed or open mouth exhales. Allowing any thoughts to come and go. Allowing the intention, the attention to your breath in this present moment. On the inhales, lifting, lengthening. And on your exhales, softening, returning. Mindfulness, again, is this attention, this awareness of this present moment. We can do one simple tool of connecting with our breath, these inhales and exhales, to become more present. So completing one more deep intentional inhale and one more deep intentional exhale. I invite you to place your right hand on your belly, your left hand in your chest, on your heart, and just become aware of perhaps any postural shifts. The lower abdominals, the hips, have they curled under or pouched out? Just scanning. The chest, the heart, Has it dropped down, closed in? Again, just simply scanning and exploring yourself, tuning into this connection, this mindfulness, cultivating this deeper balance. Let us return our hands back to our legs. Now I invite you to take just a couple more rounds of intentional inhales and exhales, really tuning into this present moment, allowing whatever thoughts of training or assignments or work, the outer work, allowing that to just let go and return to your breath. This mindfulness, as if we were in competition or training and something distracts us and puts negativity into us, excites us. Can we return to the breath of the now? Awareness and preparation and recovery and balance. Allowing the silence, this concentration of breath in the present, to invite in whatever feels, to again create a deeper connection and balance within yourself. What comes up for you in this short time of stillness, of present awareness of breath? I invite you to take a deep intentional inhale, open mouth, exhale. Bringing our hands together and gently rubbing them to create a little bit of heat. Let us place our hands over our eyes, feeling this warmth. Connecting with the intention of balance. Let us blink our eyes open back into this space that we are in, and beginning to shift ourselves forward up off of the cushion or block or pillow, and just beginning to start to lubricate the hips, the spine, by taking some little circles or bigger circles. So much of our action, our performance, comes from the foundation that we often don't or may take advantage of, and not pay much attention to the slow, nourishing movement of our key stabilizers, our key joint and mobility spaces, rotating left and right. Again, this is your practice. I am merely a guide, so allow this exploration of your hips to deepen. Maybe it's, ooh, this right hip, my right back needs a little bit more love, a little more release manually, or just pausing there to open up space, intentional inhales to lengthen, intentional exhales to soften. So maybe find those sweet spots for you. Again, this deeper connection of yourself. This deeper balance within, because honestly, nobody knows your own being better than you. We'll go through a few seated cat-cows. Maybe we put our legs straight and then switch the crossing if they were crossed. Or we're seated into a chair or on the knees. Just make our way to have a little bit of a switch. Rotating. And then finding again those sit bones down into the earth, lengthening through the spine. On the inhales, allow the pouch of the lower hips to really pull back. Belly pouches out, chest inhales, opening the chest, the pecs, the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Inhaling deeply, and then as you exhale, really round through the belly, curl it in, round, round, round. Chin comes to the chest. And then flowing again with your own breath. Deep intentional inhales, opening. Filling up, expanding. Deep intentional exhales, pressing away, contracting, squeezing, releasing. And nourishing our spine. How much of our running, pounding, walking, diving, throwing really puts pressure onto the spine, which is truly the center of our core that holds really important nerves, life important nerves, neurons, sends out different electric impulses, messages to your entire body, reactions, reflexes. So much of our movement and mobility comes from the center. One more deep intentional inhale. And deep intentional exhale, really squeezing out, rinsing out. Returning back to the center. Opening, nourishing the hips and the spine. Let us rise to our knees. Maybe we put an extra cushion or block underneath of the knees. But again, starting small movements until we build our way up to completely standing. So knees are about hip width apart. Toes feel really nice, tucked under, as if we're getting that 10-toe stretch under the bottoms of the feet. If that becomes too much for you, you can always place the feet down, no worries. So again, moving with the hips, let us gently sway side to side, to the right, to the left. So intentional movement, this mind-body connection is key. So could be rocking our hips side to side. What are we talking about? Or we can truly, and maybe even turn your gaze inward again by closing the eyes and feeling the deeper connection. Engage the inner thighs. Lift the thighs up into the hips. a slight contraction of the glutes. Now creating these movements to your right and to your left. Engage and connect, feeling the hip bone lift, the center of the core engaged as your navel zips up and in. Moving into and upward, the center of the body. The core, the foundation, is strong. Stabilizers enhancing the strength, the protection, connection within. Let's get a little wiggle. Now we give maybe a few just more releasing movements. And then return back to the center. Again, engage your center line, navel engaged, tailbone zips. Breathe. And then moving a little bit further upward to the hips. Think about bringing the lower ribs to your hip of the right side. So squeezing in, releasing. Lower ribs to the hips, squeezing in. So really, again, engaging these core, starting to turn into our abdominal muscles. Moving in with these obliques, like this corset, this wrapping around us, protecting the center of our body. This balance within. And perhaps again, we turn our gaze inward. Maybe we place the hands on the hips to feel just this hip lift, this side. Maybe we feel this engagement, pulling and squeezing in. Maybe we check ourselves out in the mirror and just feel this squeeze, feel this connection, see it. If that helps, you're a visual learner as well, maybe both, all of the above, right? This is new for you. I completely understand. I've been here myself, and now it's so important to share this experience, this empowerment, these tools and education with you to continue to empower and strengthen from the inside out. Just release, relax, and then again, begin to lengthen and open. So as much as we contract, again, we want to lengthen and open. So inhale, the arms high. Exhale, your left hand holds your right wrist as you open up. Gentle side bend. No need to go crazy. Just really lift up out of the hip. And then our chest turns towards the front. Our eye gaze is maybe at our armpit or slides up the arm. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to release. Opposite side now. Again, find that zip up down at the tailbone, engaging the core. Inhale, the arms high. Holding the left wrist, exhale to the opposite side, lengthening through the left side body. Chest shines open, eye gaze at the armpit, or maybe slides up the arm. Find length up out of your hip rather than just tipping to the side. And then exhale to the center. Shake the arms out. And a couple of twists. Twists are also really important to nourish, cleanse, lubricate the spine. So just allowing the arms to flop a little while the foundation of the knees, the hips stay strong and facing forward. Navel can engage to protect your lower back. And let us bring the arms up about shoulder height, squeezing the shoulder blades back as we start to move upward through our core into our pecs and chest and shoulders. Nourishing warm-up, nourishing mindful movement, and pausing. Hands are out in front of the shoulders, about a 90-degree angle. Holding here, moving through our football field goal and our soccer goal. Athletes, definitely heard me say that before. But it's also our cactus arms in yoga practice. So shoulders will up, back, and down. Zip in the belly, pull in the ribs. Hold the foundational strength from the knees all the way up the core. And then rotating the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades back, energized fingers and arms. Exhaling, slowly lowering, maybe slower than we want to go sometimes. Mindfully moving. Arms, shoulders down, away from the ears. And just rotating through your full range of motion, which throughout this day here, most likely will increase a little more. So perhaps it is just slow and mindful, nice and even with the body. Maybe through a couple rotations here, breathe through the shoulders because they will get warm. We are inviting in blood flow to warm up the joints. Again, these crucial little joints, these stabilizers, areas of mobility. Inviting in that blood, that warmth to increase the range of motion. Maybe on this next one, we begin to move our fingers a little, making fists, opening and closing, pumping in that blood, cleansing lymphatic systems, muscles, tissues. And let's do one more each way. So rise it up. And finishing with our arms, shaking them out, allowing those shoulders to feel warm and nourished, opening up that range of motion. And then moving through the shoulders and chest still, expanding the arms. Allow the arms to open and lengthen like wings. Palms to be faced out. And then rotating our thumbs down towards the ground, pinkies to the sky. Squeezing the shoulder blades back, heart opening, thumbs rotate up. Now, again, through our range of motion here and our energized arms and fingertips, if it feels good to you to rotate the thumbs up and then back again, so maybe your pinkies can begin to rotate up. Just be aware of the shoulders, away from the neck. And just mindful, slow movements. And again, self-exploration. Maybe we can hear or feel some little grinding in our joints or some opening, some release, maybe both. And not holding on to anything there, but just allowing it, this mobility, this openness, this invitation to release, to let that go, to cleanse it out, or to be aware of it within ourselves to help with this better connection, your own being. Slow, mindful movements, one more time, maybe a little wiggle of these fingers, again, pumping, flowing, opening, utilizing. And then slowly shaking them out. Creating perhaps a few circles if that feels good. Now, moving upward again, continuing to go up through the shoulders, out the arms, hitting a bit more of our back muscles, and then up the neck. A lot of times we may hold on to some tension or stress in the neck and the jaws, and these muscles and stabilizers that actually can cut off messages again from the neurons, this nervous system up into through the brain, decision making, quick reactions, or just simply holding on to stress, creating any headaches or anything that doesn't serve us. So we're going to allow this opening and this lengthening through the back body. So allowing and inviting the arms to come up overhead. Let us bring the palms together, and maybe we just stay here. Maybe we stay here and the elbows, we notice, are pointed outward. Can we begin to allow and invite the elbows to pull in, biceps to come closer to the ears? If this is a challenge, if the back begins to arch, then again, lengthen. Curl the navel in. Invite the sit bones to drop down, tailbone to drop down. Invite the navel to be engaged, the ribs to curl in slightly, and then lengthen through the arms. Maybe we stay here, that's fine. Honor your space. Breathing in, breathing out, inviting this length through the side body, the lats, the arms, the triceps. Maybe in time we exhale, bending the hands, the elbows to come back behind towards the head. Inhaling and exhaling. So again, gentle, mindful movements. Be aware of your foundation, the center of your core. And invite the hands to come down together towards the in-between of the shoulder blades or behind the neck. Where we may need, if our arms, our elbows are too tight together, just grab a pillow or a block, create some space, and invite the bend. Inviting in the lengthening through the triceps, the lats, the shoulders, the upper back, rhomboids. All of those muscles, inviting them into release. Again, those are all connected to the neck and the shoulders. And let us do one more. Open up. And then pressing our head and neck into the back of the block or our hand. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale in. And then inhale out. Allow the chin to come to the chest. Inviting in the sweet lengthening through the neck, the shoulders, the upper back. One more time, with or without your hands. Chin comes in, back of the neck lengthen. Slowly release. Find your foundation. Gently look over the left shoulder. And as if our eyes are tracing the horizon, allow them to just glance over to the left and to the right in a super slow, mindful movement. Again, maybe there's some creaks or cricks. Maybe there's some tension or places and spaces that can utilize a little bit more attention, more nourishment. Just pay attention. It's all about becoming aware, more balanced within. Last time on this side. And then returning back to the center. Gently rolling the shoulders up, down and back. Maybe taking a couple moments to pause or do a few seated cat-cows again if that feels good to you. Wherever you are, we're going to make our way to standing. So your journey to get there, maybe you take a nice little stretch along the way, or squat to stand, or just stand straight up from the knees. Just returning to a standing position and bringing the ball out in front of you with your feet. So here, again, lacrosse ball, softball, baseball, option to utilize the rolled up ball with tape. And if you need to grab that at this time or make it at this time, go ahead and just pause the video and you can return, no worries. So with this ball, this pressure release, we do so much on our feet, on our foundation, feet, knees, that oftentimes, again, we forget about the little stabilizer muscles, the crucial, important muscles that hold us together. So with our ball, with our myofascial release, we're going to take it into our left foot and just start right around the bases of your toes, right where the knuckles are, starting on the pinky side, and just rolling it across the tops, the ball mound of your feet, to the big toe side. Again, probably slower than what you want to go, but the more we connect with our movements and create these mindful movements, the more awareness and connection we truly create. So just noticing those knuckles and then maybe moving a little bit lower. Ooh. Just exploring, again, if it feels good to you, close your eyes, but wherever you are, allow that right leg, that balanced leg, to be bending into yourself, so we're not straight leg locking it out, but just cushioning, being mindful of our standing leg and support as well. Again, just rocking a little side to side. As you return to the big toe, the center of your foot towards the arch, allow that ball to roll down a little bit more towards the arch. So right underneath and a little bit back from behind that big toe knuckle. And then here, we just want to roll it forward. So our foot comes forward as the ball comes across the arch of the foot. Again, just self-exploring. Maybe there's a little bit of some crunching or crinkling. Maybe there's a little tickle. Mindfully exploring our foundation and then beginning to move a little bit more inward towards that second toe, rolling up and down. Into the third toe. Maybe we check out what our toes are doing. Are they really curling under? Are they not relaxed? Are they flexed? Just exploring. When they flex up, we cannot fully release and relax the muscles, so invite them to do so. If they curl under, maybe we've hit a sensitive spot that can utilize a little bit more myofascial release, more opening. to allow them to function at their fullest potential, even our little bitty feet. And then making our way to the heel. So allow the toes to rest down. And then again, just a little rock, side to side. And beginning to explore the heel of the foot. And releasing. Feels so nice. A little stretch if you like. Feels good to step on the ball and step your balancing leg forward. Getting a little bit more of a deeper opening through the Achilles, the back calf, the bottoms of the feet. Ooh. Okay, moving forward. Moving on to that other leg. Now, after this left foot is a little bit more loosened up, okay, when we stand on it for our foundation, let us lift all 5 toes and then place them down one at a time. And just imagine that you're standing balanced on each 4 corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, of your foot. Each 4 corners of the foot. Knee is a little bit bent. And just feel that grounding, maybe that difference of the foundation and what way you may have felt before. And beginning to create these same movements across the mounds, the bottom mounds of the knuckles of our toes, the ball of the foot. Exploring. Maybe pausing in this space, a little bit more tension. And then slowly rolling a little bit away from the toes. Checking in with the balance and the foundation of our standing leg. And our core, mindful. This foundation, slowly rolling, making your way again to the big toe mound. Here, we begin to roll our foot forward so this ball, our myofascial release, can begin to do its work along the arch of our feet. And again, without judgment or attachment, just explore. Is this side a little bit more tense or tender than the other? For me, yes. Had a few injuries, knee injuries on the left side of my body. ACL tears, reconstructions, a couple of them. So this left side has had to do a little bit more work and recovery and balancing. And oftentimes they're a little bit more tense and tender than my opposite side. So again, becoming in tune with yourself. This mind-body connection which is a big reason why I continue to explore and study and practice these methods because of my injuries and ways that they could have been prevented. So sharing these tools with each and every one of you is a calling and a passion as a fellow and former athlete to take care of our whole being, even down to our little bitty tippy toes or long toes. And then stepping this foot forward as we make our way across the arch all the way out to the pinky. So now moving out to the heel, allowing the toes to plant and then just a little rock side to side. A little rock side to side and then around in circles. Feel what feels good to you. Explore these little bitty areas. Maybe they've never been explored before, so have fun with it. It's a whole new world. Stay or play in a couple little areas that might need a little bit more love, a little bit more attention or nourishment. And then maybe coming back to the arch when you're ready, back to the tops of the feet when you're ready, stepping forward with the opposite leg and finding again that stretch. Whenever that stretch feels good to you, maybe it's back of the arch, the side of the foot. Where can we deepen? And then begin to release. And just taking a moment to set the ball off to the side. Maybe just getting a little bit of bicycling movement with our feet to kind of open them up, rolling across the toes, opening up the front of the feet and the ankles, and nourishing those spaces. Opening up. And then let us shift our weight back onto that first foot. So back to your left foot. All 5 toes lift, place them down one at a time. Find all 4 corners of your foot. Knees slightly bent. Inhale, exhale to balance. So maybe our foot just stays here. All good. Maybe we stick it out in front of us. Maybe we bend that knee up, navel engaged. Find this length in the spine. And then maybe throughout your time here balancing on this left foot, you just explore with a range of motion on your standing leg. Bringing this balancing leg, this upward leg, into different various motions. Meanwhile, that left foot is completely grounded in. For a couple more seconds, breathe, connect, and maybe try to explore a little bit more. And then slowly set your right foot down, shaking it out a little bit or a lot, allowing this left foot to release. Calves to stretch and open. And then grounding into your right foot, lift all 5 toes. Place them down one at a time. Knee is soft, muscles engaged. Remember that zip of the navel, gentle tuck of the tailbone. Think about that energized core that we rooted into in the beginning of our practice. And then lifting up that left leg. Exploring again with the range of motion as you move it. Utilize these different areas to test and challenge the balance of your right leg. Perhaps exploring different lengths, spaces. Wherever you are, utilizing your breath as a tool. The foot grounding in, utilizing those stabilizers, feeling that open space that we just created, really creating that extra support. And then allow the opposite foot to lower down, shaking it out. Balancing and rooting from the inside out, moving all the way up through the core. So returning back to this foundation, all the way through the tops of our head. If it helps you to go back to when we were seated, kneeling, now simply standing. So place this left foot down. 5 toes, all 4 corners, locked in, knees slightly bent, navel tucked, rising up through the center of your core. Ribs pull in, shoulders relax, chin drops, head lifts, finding balance. I invite you to close your eyes. Have a little fun. Have a little play. Check in as this deeper connection with you, this inner balance, will not allow you to tip over. And if and when it does, maybe laugh a little, shake it off, get right back into it. All good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Focusing in. Balancing root to rise. One more deep intentional inhale. See where we can lift and lengthen a little more. Exhale to soften and release. Shake it out. Nice job, everybody. Good job. This is fun. Are you having fun? All right, so inner balance from the inside out. Opposite foot, lift all 5 toes, place them down. Find each 4 corner of your foot. Knees soft, navel engaged, zip it up. Stack the vertebrae on top of each other, shoulders relaxed, chin tucks, head lifts, opposite foot lifts. Feel that rooting down, grounding. Trust in the balance within. Close the eyes and go within. Connect with your breath. Connect with that present moment. This awareness of now. Foot grounding, little stabilizers, really moving, strengthening, ankle protecting, knees soft, protecting, thighs strong, hips there, lengthening through the spine, navel engaged. All the way through the crown of your head. Inhale, exhale, lower down. So not so bad, right? Kind of fun when we close our eyes and explore a little bit. So how about we do that one more time? Okay. So opposite foot, back to the original foot. This time we're going to play a little bit with our standing leg, our free-flowing leg, and just challenging ourselves to move it in different areas. Okay, start small, go big, fall out, come back in. It's all good. So lift the left toes, place them back down. Find the 4 corners of your foot. Foundation. Ankles supported, knees slightly soft and bent. Tailbone tucks as the navel engages. Relax your glutes a little. Stack one vertebrae on top of the other. Climb up, lift up, breathe up. Pull the ribs in. Keep the core connected. Alignment. Close the eyes. Trust. Begin to play with our standing, our free-flowing leg into different directions. And if we need the arms, can utilize them as if they were balancing out to the side or up, maybe out and back. Maybe they're right at your heart and your belly. Again, feeling the center of your core tapped in. Explore those places for one more deep intentional inhale. And one more deep, intentional exhale. Let it go. Shake it out. Last one. We're nearly there. Balance from the inside out. Right toes lift. Place them down. 5 toes. 4 corners. Knee bent. Navel engaged. Lift and lengthen. Option to hold. Connect, inner gaze, close the eyes. Explore this connection, this balance. range of motion. Use your breath. Trust in yourself. Ground into the now. Feel these little muscles moving. Stabilizing, balancing. One more deep, intentional inhale and exhale. And lower down. So, how did that feel for you? I'd love to hear about that. Sharing in the comments about anything that might have come up. You're always welcome to ask me questions as well. What did we do when we felt a little out of balance? Did we automatically open our eyes? Did we just put our foot down and keep our gaze inward? What was it for you? Were you good the whole time? Perhaps one side and not the other. Whatever it is for you, it's so important to explore your own being because we're all different. So again, that awareness within yourself, mind-body connection, balance within you. The ball, the myofascial release ball, we can continue to come back to that. Open up these muscles around the feet, the calves, and the ankles. Again, we can maybe feel the warmth of those little stabilizer muscles as we went through those balancing exercises. And continue to utilize these tools throughout maybe the day, the evening, to open, to strengthen, to lengthen. Longer muscles are stronger muscles. So it's so important to continue to lengthen and open. Another way, again, as in the beginning, this 10-toe stretch, instead of being on the knees, perhaps we tuck all of our toes under and sit back and give our arches, our ankles, our feet, a nice opening, a little bit more nourishment at the end of our practice. Breathing in intentionally, deepening. Exhale, intentionals. And then let us shift ourselves forward. When you are ready, gently untuck the toes and give them a little pat. And as we begin to close out our practice of balance, let us come back to a comfortable seated posture, a comfortable seated shape. Again, whether that's seated on the hips, on the feet. Mostly like sit on our hips, don't we? Sit down on a chair, on the floor, whatever feels good to you. Let's just, again, take a moment to close the eyes, to turn your gaze inward. And just become aware of your breath. Intentional inhales and intentional exhales. And let us reflect. Was there a moment where we became disconnected from this breath? This energy of inhaling and exhaling? Are there moments when we were solely focused on the balance, that blend of effort and ease? Were there moments where we became disconnected completely? Perhaps traveling into a story of the past or the future. Simply reflecting the practice, moving from the tips of our toes to the crown of our head, our entire being. Just take a moment to reflect on where we felt a little stuck energy or muscle, body, physical stuckness. May we embody this present moment in gratitude of becoming unstuck, being open, creating space for balance, to empower the mindful athlete. Let's bring our hands together and again rubbing them, creating a little bit of heat. This time placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Tuning in with your posture and energy. Deep intentional inhale and an open mouth, deep intentional exhale. I'll just do that 2 more times to close the practice. Deep intentional inhale. Deep intentional exhale. 1 more time. Deep intentional inhale. Hands come together, thanking ourselves for tuning into this practice to empower our mindful athlete, to empower our performance within and without. Let's rub the palms together, place them over our eyes, blink the eyes back open. Returning again to this space. I thank you for tuning in to yourself, for sharing this time, this energy with me. And I continue to invite you to educate, embody, and empower your conscious warrior. Thank you again. Have an empowering day.